And the dream that he's having is our lives. The events of world history are the substance of Vishnu's dream. And as he is dreaming, a god sits on a lotus, and the lotus is connected to his navel cord. And the god sitting on that lotus has 4 faces. Each of the 4 faces project Vishnu's dream out into the 4 quarters of the world. This god is Brahma. Now, every time Brahma blinks his eyes, a cosmic cycle begins. And it goes through 4 ages of declining virtue into chaos, and then he blinks again and the cycle is finished. And every time he blinks, this universe goes through this cycle, and it is an absolutely rigid, mathematically deterministic cycle of 4 distinct stages, just like the Hesiodic model of the 4 metals. And these stages are called yugas. The first period, the Golden Age, is called the Kreta Yuga, and this is to last for 1,728,000 years. And this is a period when Dharma prevails throughout the cosmos. There are no rules broken. There is no evil in the world. It is an age of absolute harmonious perfection. This is the age to be, the Golden Age, to be contrasted, very similar with the age of the period of light before the fall of darkness in the Zoroastrian model. Then the next phase is the Terita Yuga, which lasts 1,296,000 years. And here things begin to decline. Virtue begins to fall. Men begin to disobey rules, and murder and crime begins to come into the picture. Then we have the Dvapara Yuga, which is to last 864,000 years. And this is an age of a further declension of virtue. And then finally we have the dreaded Kali Yuga, which is 432,000 years in duration, which the Hindus say we are in now. And the present Kali Yuga began in the year 3102 BC, so we have a long way to go before Vishnu blinks again. And the Kali Yuga is an age of total social chaos and anarchy. And the complete sequence of 4 stages is known as a Meha Yuga, the total number being 4,320,000 years. Now Vishnu Brahma blinks his eyes 1,000 times in one of his days. And 1,000 of these Meha Yugas then is equivalent to what is called a Kalpa. A Kalpa is a day in the life of Brahma. And this is 4,320,000 human years. Now, a year of Brahma is 720 of these Kalpas. And this turns out to be a very large number of 3,110,400,000,000 human years. And then finally a lifetime of Brahma, which is 100 years, 100 of his years, is 72,000 kalpas, which turns out to be 311,000 billion human years. At the end of that time, Brahma goes back into his lotus, the lotus sinks back into Vishnu, Vishnu goes into deep dreamless sleep, and the cosmos is flooded by a the cosmic ocean covers everything, and there is silence until the cycle renews itself. And it has always been renewing itself and always will be renewing itself. And furthermore, throughout the infinitudes of infinite space, there are innumerable Vishnus, each with his own Brahma, each undergoing this cycle, world without end. So the Hindu vision of the cosmos is designed to render the human ego to be absolutely insignificant. Human achievement and effort here is to be regarded in its perspective, in the perspective of the world of the vast cosmos of the gods, which is absolutely mathematically determined. And everything that happens in the world, all of the avatars and incarnations of Vishnu within each one of these cycles is foreordained and simply a repetition of the previous cycle. The events of history are identical in each one of these cycles. The events of your life as an individual have happened an infinitude of times prior to this, and nothing you can do can alter that. So these are the two radically opposed ways of modeling history. The finite bounded arc of Zoroaster, or the the wheel of infinite cycling and return. Now this wheel actually has the numbers that the Hindus use, which is all based upon multiples of the number 432. 432 times 1 is 432,000 times 2 is 864,000 times 3 is 1,296,000 times 4, 1,728,000. It's all multiples of this number. And this actually is an empirically observable scientific number. The same numbers turn up again in the scientific astronomical phenomenon known as the precession of the equinoxes, which is actually the basis of our models of astrology. And now the precession of the equinox is what takes place on the vernal equinox. When the spring sun rises in March 21st every year in the vernal equinox, it rises at a point on the horizon with a 50-second lag from where it was the year before. Now, in a period of 72 years, this 50-second lag adds up to 3,600 seconds, or 1 hour, which is exactly 1 degree. So that every 2,160 years, there's a slippage of 30 degrees, which is one sign of the zodiac. We're currently moving out of the age of Pisces and into the age of Aquarius. 2,000 years ago, we had shifted out of Aries into the spoke of Pisces, and so forth. For a complete precession of the equinoxes, then, a period of 25,920 years is required. And these are scientifically observable, empirically verifiable numbers. And furthermore, we find the same numbers as in the Hindu system turning up in this figure. 25,920 divided by 60 turns out to be 432. And 60 is the basic unit of time which we have been using to measure calendars and the revolutions of time ever since the Sumerians first used it in 3200 BC. So this number's had a long, long run. And furthermore, we are to note that there are, in a 24-hour period, 86,400 seconds, which is twice 43,200. So this is these are concrete numbers, actually, that the Hindus were using, and they're still there in our astrological notion of the cycles of the cosmos. And furthermore, these numbers all add up to multiples of 9. And 9 is the number of the cycle before it renews itself with the 0, the 10, and then starts over again with 11. 25, 9, 22, and 5 are 7, 9 and 2 are 11, 11 and 7 are 18, 8 and 1 is 9. 4, 3 and 2, 4 and 3 are 7 and 2 are 9. This is a significant number. Now, there was a Chaldean, supposedly the precession of the equinoxes was discovered by a Greek living in the 2nd century BC named Hipparchus. But there was a Chaldean philosopher named Berassos who lived back in the 3rd century, 100 years at least before Hipparchus, who already knew about these numbers and furthermore claimed that he had gotten them from Babylonian tradition. And Berassos had proposed a king list, a list of 10 kings that had ruled from the creation of the cosmos to the coming of the flood. And these 10 kings lived over a span of time lasting 432,000 years. So we have the number again in Berassos. The number also goes back to the Library of Ashurbanipal in 600 BC. So it's been around at least that far, but then the 60s go clear back to ancient Sumer. And Berassos predicted that the world would come to an end when all the planets lined up. It would happen in 2 phases. The planets would line up in the sign of Cancer, so that there would be a complete line in Cancer, the crab, and there would be a giant conflagration, perhaps a comet would hit the Earth. And then when the planets all lined up again in Capricorn, there would be a gigantic flood. So there we have the deterministic model again in the Babylonian mind.